Hello, my loves, and welcome to Chapter 9, Semester Exam Review. All right, we're starting with some Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, your hypotenuse is always c. So 5 squared plus x squared equals 11 squared. 25 plus x squared equals 121. Subtract 25 from both sides. X squared equals 96. I'm not done because it's still squared, so I got to take a square root of that. If you have one of my fancy calculators, it will end for you right here. Now, it is a multiple choice test, which means you can type this into your calculator, even if you've got one of the other calculators, and get the right decimal form. Change everything to decimals and do it that way. There's no reason to worry about changing this to simplest radical form, even no matter what calculator you have. Right here, 10 squared plus 13 squared equals x squared. So that's going to be 269 equals x squared. The square root of 269 doesn't square root. Gorgeous. Leave it be. Okay, and then x squared plus 2 squared equals root 13 squared. So that's x squared plus 4 equals 13. Square root of 13 squared is just 13. X squared equals 9. The square root of 9 is 3. All right, here, write down the trigonometric ratios. So a ratio is a fraction. That's all we're doing is writing down fractions. So remember SOHCAHTOA. So cosine of b is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So 21 over 29. The sine of b is going to be opposite over hypotenuse, or 20 over 29. And the tangent of b is opposite over adjacent. Opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. So 20 over 21. All right, here we've got the cosine of z. So z, I need, I don't know what it is yet. This number over 13. So I got to figure out what that number is, but I have 2 on my side, so I can use the Pythagorean theorem. 5x plus x squared, or 5 squared plus x squared equals 13 squared. 25 plus x squared equals 196 minus x squared equals 144. Square root of that is 12. So it's going to be 12 over 13. All right, sine of z. Z is going to be opposite over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. So that's 5 over 13. And then tan of x, so I got to go x, opposite over adjacent, is 12 over 5. Find the indicated value, round lengths to the nearest tenths, and angles to the nearest degree. All right, so I'm looking for a length here. I have an angle, and I've got an opposite and an adjacent. So that is tan 55 equals 16 over x. All right, remember, when you're cross multiplying, there's an invisible 1 under here. Your easiest bet, 1 times 16 divided by the tangent of 55. So it's just going to be 16 divided by the tangent of 55 gives me 11.2. Same idea, we've got a side. So let's see, opposite over adjacent, tan of 65 equals 16 over x. So I've got to do 16 divided by the tangent of 65. That gives me 7.5. All right, here I'm looking for a degree. So it's going to be opposite over hypotenuse. The sine of x is 24 over 29. So when you're looking for an angle, you need to use inverse sine. So you go second sine, 24 over 29. You can type that mess right there in your calculator. Round to the nearest degree, 56 degrees. Okay, opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of 64 equals x over 30. So I just need to do 30 times the sine of 64 gives me 27. All right, Opposite over hypotenuse, sine of 43 equals 20 over x. X is on bottom, I gotta divide. 20 divided by the sine of 43 ends up with 29.3. I've got an adjacent and a hypotenuse, so that is cosine of 44 equals t over 22. So 22 times the cosine of 44 is 15.8. I have no units. It kind of makes my life a little easier. I keep checking for units. I'm used to it. All right, 71. So that's an adjacent and a hypotenuse. So I got cosine of 71 equals 19 over x, means that I got to divide 19 divided by the cosine of 71 gives me 58.4. It's pretty big. I guess 71 is pretty big, so that kind of makes sense. Okay. I have a hypotenuse and an adjacent, so the cosine of x equals 48 over 60. I need to do inverse cosine. I end up with 37-ish degrees. And then last but not least, I got opposite and adjacent, because that's my hypotenuse. So tangent of x equals 12 over 15. Inverse tan, 12 over 15. Ends up with 39 degrees. Use special right triangles to solve for the indicated value. So we have our 45, 45, 90s and our 30, 60, 90s. This is great practice. Use your formula sheet to get these. All right, we know legs are the same, so y is 7, and then that's going to be 7 times root 2. If you wanted to use trig, you could, okay? So like if I'm trying to figure out x, I could do opposite over hypotenuse. So I could do sine of 45 equals 7 over x, and you are still going to get 7 root 2. So just if that helps you, you can still do that. 30, 60, 90s. All right, so we have our short leg, we have our long leg, and we have our hypotenuse. You always, always, always start at that short leg. It is across from the 30, okay? Short leg is across. So you can say times 2 for the hypotenuse and times root 3 for the long leg. Okay, divide by root 2 because this is a 45, 45, so we've just got 8 and 8 here. Divide by root 2. Okay, 30, 60, so I have a hypotenuse, I need my short leg, so I'm going to divide by 2. N is 4, and then my long leg is times root 3, so 4 root 3. Okay, I know y is going to be the same as my leg, so 2 root 2, and then times root 2 is going to be 4. Yeah. Okay, I have a long leg. To get to my short leg, I need to divide by root 3, so the v is just 7, and then times 2 to get to my hypotenuse, so u is 14. Love it when all these are coming out even for me. Oh, and I said it. All right, here I got to divide by 2 to get to my short leg. So it's going to be 2 root 2. And then times root 3 to get to my long leg. So that means x is going to be 2 root 6. Hypotenuse, yet again, divide by 2. So n is 2 root 3 times root 3. It's going to give me, root 3 times root 3 is 3. So that's just 2 times 3. Hold on. If that's 2 root 3, 2 times root 3 times root 3 is going to be 2 root 9. 2 times 9 equal, 2 times root 9 equals 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. What did I do wrong? I know what I did wrong. 6 divided by 2 is a 3, Miss Mayhew. 3 root 3 is 9. There we go. All right, 45, 45, so I've got to divide by root 2. 8 divided by root 2 gives me 4 root 2. That's a short leg. So y is 7 over 2 times root 3. It's a mess, but sure, why not? 7 root 3 over 2. Same thing. And then this is going to be, okay, so that's times root 3. And that's times 2. So 7 over 2 times 2 is just 7. All right, I've got a long leg, so I need to divide by the square root of 3. So 10 root 3 divided by 3 is going to get me 10 root 3 over 3. And times 2 is just 20 root 3 over 3. N is going to be the exact same thing, so 5 root 2 over 2. Who cares that it's a mess? And then this one is times root 2, which is 2 is 4 is 5. Gorgeous. Find the indicated value, round the lengths to the nearest tenth, and the angles to the nearest degree. All right. Oh, this is the where we had to make the same triangle every single time. Angle of depression. Okay, so we're leaning a 16-foot ladder against a wall. If the base of the ladder is 4 feet from the wall, what angle does the ladder make with the ground? So that is cosine. Cosine of theta equals 4 over 16. So inverse cosine, adjacent. What angle does the ladder make with the ground? Yeah, adjacent over hypotenuse. Yeah. So inverse cosine of 4 over 16. I got 75.5. And usually degrees we round, so say 76. Adjacent, yeah. A building casts a shadow. Okay, let's draw my triangle here. I'm going to have a right triangle. Cast a shadow that's 90 feet long at the same time the angle of elevation of the sun is 35. Okay, so 90-foot long shadow. Shadows are on the ground. Angle of elevation to the sun. So we've got a little sun up here. That angle of elevation is right there. That's 35 degrees. We're going to leave our angle in the same place every single time. Find the height of the building. I'm looking for this. So that is going to be opposite over adjacent. So the tangent of 35 equals x over 90. I need to do 90 times the tangent of 35. 90 times tan of 35 is 63 feet. 63.01 feet. Yeah. Dale is flying a kite using string. All right, here we go. A kite, 125 feet of string. He anchors the string to the ground, and the angle of elevation is 52 degrees. Find the height of the kite, that would be this guy right here. So that's opposite over hypotenuse, so that's the sine of 52 equals x over 125. So 125 times the sine of 52 is 98.5 feet in the air. Skateboard ramp is that high, okay, and 6 feet along the horizontal. Okay, 6 feet along the horizontal and this high. To the nearest degree, what is the measure that the angle makes? So this degree is what I'm looking for. Opposite over adjacent. Tangent of theta is 2.5 over 6. So inverse tan of 2.5 over 6 is 23 degrees. There's all of chapter 9, my dears. Good luck.